Welcome back for another video. We're back to preview everything concerning Gameweek 30, and in this one we'll cover all the key information you need to ensure you arrive at the best decisions. Goal scorer odds, clean sheet odds, transfer trends, captaincy poll and more. So if you'd like to follow this and other content on the channel every week, make sure you're subscribing. If you've not joined my So Rare League yet, I highly recommend making a team and join my league with the link in the description. Here's how I'm lining up for Gameweek 30, Kane captain as it stands, and I may need to transfer Madison out if he's injured, looking to pick up a limited card soon. You can jump into So Rare at any point. It's not like joining an FPL season midway, and next season I'll be working with them closely. Click the link at the top of the description to play and also join my league. So jumping straight in with the goal scorer odds, which assume that the player starts. Millions of managers will await Haaland news, whether he's trained or whether he's recovered from his injury. We should know pre-deadline whether he makes the squad, perhaps not officially, so make sure you follow me on Twitter as I'll share any news in that respect. Man City are away to Southampton and Haaland's given a 53% chance of scoring any time, comfortably top this week. Rashford's second with a 38% chance. They're home to Everton, who weren't really impressive to dig out a point against Tottenham after going a man down. Forest's record on the road has been very poor, capped off with another away loss at Ellen Road in Gameweek 29. This weekend they're away to Aston Villa, and Watkins has emerged as a genuine captain option with a 36.5% chance of scoring, after putting up a 17-pointer in Gameweek 29 as well. Salah was one of many players we were surprised to see benched against Chelsea. You'd expect him to return to the starting 11 for the game against Arsenal, where he has been given a 34% chance of scoring. Perhaps Zinchenko's role in the team is something he can exploit down that side, but Zinchenko frequently pushes up and tucks inside into midfield, leaving some spaces behind, which a counter-attacking team such as Liverpool's calibre can punish. Wilson makes the top goal scorer odds ahead of Isak with a 32.5% chance. He was on the score sheet for the Newcastle game against Man United, after Isak was subbed without a goal contribution, something to be aware of as Howe might repay that sometime soon. Something else to be mindful of is Maddison's withdrawal against Aston Villa with an injury. We wait to find out the severity and whether it will rule him out of Gameweek 29 or not. It's such a great fixture for Leicester at home to Bournemouth, and it's a must-win game, so owners will be hoping he makes that one. If he does, he's given a 31% chance of scoring. Onto the clean sheet odds. It feels like very few of us are on Man City defensive assets. They are top this week with a 52% chance, and they could be back in the conversation soon, particularly Ederson for his nailedness, given Man City's double in 34 against Fulham and West Ham, and an expected double in Gameweek 37 again. Man United host Everton, and they're second on the odds, given a 45% chance, followed by Villa with a 42% chance against Forest. Mings has been in excellent form recently, with returns of 8, 12, 8 and 7 in his last 6 games, and only 4.4 mil. Moreno also a shout for the same price as a more attacking option. Chelsea travel to Wolves and hope to make it back-to-back games without conceding. They're given a 39.5% chance of a clean sheet. Chilwell took all 3 bonus points in the game against Liverpool before coming off early. We talked in past videos that Chelsea do have a packed schedule with Champions League to juggle, so there is some concern that he might be managed, but if it is early substitutions like we saw against Liverpool, then that's perfectly fine, as long as it's after 60 minutes anyway. It's an awkward game week for lots of our attackers facing our defenders this week. Kane's up against Brighton, Brentford and Newcastle face one another. Many of us Tony owners, many of us with Newcastle defenders. Rock bottom this week is Southampton with a 9.5% chance against Man City, followed by Everton with a 14.5% chance away to Man United. Moving on to which players are projected to do best in Gameweek 30. It's close, but Rashford's top with 5.8 points for the Everton game. Clearly it's a week where there are more opportunities to look elsewhere for captaincy, particularly if you're chasing rank or a mini league. If you're at a rank you're happy with and looking to consolidate, and if we find out that Haaland is back, then you might be inclined to back Erling. De Bruyne put up a 13-point haul in his single Gameweek match against Liverpool, and he is second behind Rashford with 5.7 points, followed by Watkins with 5.3 and then Bruno and Kane with 5.2. As a rule of thumb, personally around 0.5 predicted points is usually the range I'd consider deviating from the top option to punt elsewhere on someone else for captaincy, so this week there's a lot of top options. Saka is expected to return to Arsenal's starting 11 for a big away game to Liverpool after being benched last match. If we sold him this week for Maddison, he might be looking at reversing that move if he's out injured. Grealish has really picked it up recently and he's one for the watch list, projected 4.6 points this week after 1 goal 1 assist last match. Foden's still out injured as well, so he should be nailed in the meantime and only 6.8 mil. Barnes put up his 10th attacking return of the season last match, remarkably still yet to pick up a bonus point all season, by far the highest scoring player yet to score bonus. So let's have a look at the top transfer trends this week. It's close, but the most transferred in player is actually Jesus. A brace against the Leeds last match for a 12-pointer, and many of us are in the market for a forward. No doubles or blanks for Arsenal for the rest of the season, but he is a very good option to consider. Unbelievably, 4.8 mil White is now the second top scoring defender in the game, 78,000 transfers in this week. We saw him in last week's wildcard video following the injury to Tomiyasu, as he will be completely nailed for the remainder of the season now. As a reminder, Gameweek 32 is a blank for Brighton, Chelsea, Man City and Man United, so if you're not using a chip that week, be careful of your transfers before then. It's human nature in many ways to get into the thinking, I'll cross that bridge later. But if you're not careful, you could end up in Gameweek 32 falling significantly short of 11 players if you don't plan your transfers carefully. 54,000 transfers in from Matoma, who does also blank in 32. He has returned in his last 5 games in a row though. Incredible consistency from him and the other Brighton assets. Brighton will double in 34 and expected to double in Gameweek 36 and 37 as well. A triple up is essential for the rest of the season, though if you're not there yet, it could probably wait until after their blank, with 2 tougher games up next against Spurs and Chelsea, though you could certainly ask questions about their form as of late. A quick look at the most sold players, and Saliba's injury puts him top with 170,000 sales, and Ron's second with 88,000 for the same reason. It could be premature to be selling Haaland now. Hold your transfers until closest to the deadline if you can. 53,000 have dropped him already, but if Pep comes out and says he's trained all week, and you really don't want to be dropping him before Southampton, who sit bottom of the league at the moment. It was announced this week that Mitrovic will serve an 8-match suspension for pushing a referee, so we won't see Mitrovic till mid-May. 43,000 have sold him. Shockingly, 25,000 have sold Rashford, which is a recipe for disaster given he did top the projections this week. Havertz was Gameweek 29's biggest XG underperformer, failing to score from 1.65 XG. 24,000 managers have seen enough and sold him. There's no captain poll this week as the Gameweek's not wrapped up, plus the Haaland news is still uncertain. However, every week, as usual, there will be a captain poll in the community tab on my channel nearer the deadline, so keep an eye out for that. That wraps up this video, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please press a like and make sure you subscribe to the channel. See you soon for the next one.